Welcome to A Woman's Brew, where women talk about beer. Today we head towards Valhalla as we're joined by Elle from Ginger Beer Geniuses, DMC Brewery. I'm Joanne and this is Tori.
Hello, hello.
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us.
So I guess there we go. We'll just start right off the bat. Do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, where you're from, and
sure.
What you do.
Okay, so hi. See, now I can't look at you guys. It was all going so smoothly before, and now it's like, oh no, you did a countdown and everything. Okay, sorry. Hi, I'm Elle Romano. Really weird giving you my surname as well. I am the head brewer at DMC Brewery, and we specialise in doing alcoholic ginger beer and other weird drinks that people generally haven't heard of and take quite a lot of explaining. So yeah, that's who I am. That's what we do. Yeah.
I like that. Ooh. Other weird drinks. do you want to elaborate? What's the other weird drinks? I'm curious now.
So we do something called cider and braggot. Should we all hold up the can? Was that making sense?
Yours, mine's in the fridge.
You have to watch the video now.
Yeah.
I didn't bring a braggot because we've sold them all, so I don't have one in my stash.
It means that I managed to get
the last ones.
You snuck in there. You were ahead of the curve.
I was really excited for that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one that's 10%. So that's a end of the evening for the Weeble home kind of one. Yeah, Weeble upstairs after that. So cider and braggot are basically two drinks that originate from kind of like medieval times. So braggot was the drink of the Vikings, obviously. If you ever see any pictures like of my other half, he kind of looks a bit like a Viking. So, we had to make something that was suitable for him to drink and also to drink out of like one of our wooden tankards. So braggot is a mead beer. So it's a 50-50 fermentation with malt and honey. It tastes amazing, and obviously we use like old school hops in that to give it that proper like robust kind of fab flavour. And then the cider is it was the drink of the monks. So in the abbots they always had these lovely orchards, and they would get the apple juice and they would do a 50-50 fermentation of apple juice with honey, and it makes this amazing drink. It's so good. Like, cider is one of my favourite things. It tastes like you're drinking apple juice and you feel like you're being super duper healthy, but it's a lie. It's getting you drunk. It's great. It's like the best of both worlds combined. So cider. So normally we do like a cider mead, which is like 14%, but we do a session version, which put in 14. That made your eyes pop then when I said that. Do the session version.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. When we do the battle reenactments, a lot of people are down with that. It's pretty lethal. People jousting and fighting with tankards of mead. We do a session version which we sell in cans and stuff like that. So yeah, so those are the other weird things, and yeah, that's what we do. So.
Amazing.
That's exciting. Should we just crack one open? Let's crack one open. Should we go with the OGB first?
Starting with the OGB.
It feels like that makes the most sense, like the starting point.
I was just going to open it. I forgot to show it.
I know. I like the brewery ASMR when you just do that.
Ooh, it smells amazing.
Nice, it does. So, I guess it's sort of like a starting point for anyone that doesn't know what alcoholic ginger beer is, or ginger beer as a whole. Like, what's like sort of like high level there? Because I think for me, I was not as familiar with it actually until like I knew I'd heard of ginger beer, but like I didn't know anyone was like that anyone's really like making it. And then I felt like I didn't know it was alcoholic. Like I didn't know you get the alcoholic versions. I just thought like I had seen the non-alcoholic versions, and then I saw your Valhalla somewhere and had that, and I was like, this is really good. Yeah.
I'm getting really good at this. Like,
and it's a shame so many people go audio only. They're never gonna see
Never
this.
watch
This
the
is
video.
why you have to watch it. We're not going to tell you what happened.
Yeah, go watch it.
you're missing out on all the good stuff.
High level of like ginger beer for anyone that like doesn't know. What does it take to make a ginger beer?
So you're absolutely right. Like ginger beer kind of like fell out of. So there's a little history of ginger beer. Okay, so when back in the 1800s, so if you actually look at like the OGB can, you used to get like these they're kind of like old fashioned like stone growlers, and that used to be, you know, and it would be printed like with the brewery's name on it and things like that. So this kind of like goes back to the like 18th century, when ginger beer was actually, alcoholic ginger beer was the drink of choice. So it happened with the spice trade, and you would have all of the ginger coming in, and what they would do is in the ports and harbours, anything that didn't sell just got chucked into barrels with water and sugar and lemon, and that was ginger beer, and it was what everybody used to drink. And it literally was the drink of choice in the UK up until round about the First World War. And that's when obviously supplies kind of like got very, very difficult. So it kind of started to fall into like disuse. And then Prohibition happened in America, and that had a huge impact on the UK as well. So that's when ginger beer became ginger ale, and that's when it became the carbonated soft drink. So that was kind of like when it all changed. And then obviously it became very much like Enid Blyton and, you know, lashings of ginger beer and jam sandwiches and picnics, and I kind of love that. So, and I hadn't had ginger beer, like I always liked it, but I hadn't had it until about 2014, when a certain brand of ginger beer, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but they started doing lots of adverts on TV and started talking about, you know, lashings of ginger beer and things like that. And I had it, and it was an alcoholic version, and I really enjoyed it. And that's kind of where we kind of started, like, so that's where I kind of like became aware of it again as being like an alcoholic version. But then my husband and I, Jez, we had brewed at home before, like as a bit of a hobby, and we'd done mead and things like that, but we'd never actually made a ginger beer. And I did it as a bit of a kind of like a joke. But a lot of the things that you could buy were all kits using like extracts, ginger extracts, and weird things that put it together, and it didn't really taste of ginger, and it wasn't fiery, and it was like, oh, we'll just put some chili in there and it'll make it fiery. And it's like, but ginger is fiery on its own, it's a different kind of fire, like that's not right. So we started I started playing around and kind of I started using the whole ginger root and finding different ways of like extracting the ginger flavour and then adding different botanicals and stuff like that. And that's really where it all came from, to be honest with you. So the OGB was inspired by the original recipe from the way back when, and then the other recipes are kind of the ones that have kind of come along based on the kind of things that I want to drink, really.
Nice.
That's really
I don't know if any of that made sense.
No,
Yeah.
it absolutely
Yeah.
did, but it's stuff that like I didn't know about. I mean, as we said before we were recording, I was like, I didn't really know a lot about it, and I purposely didn't Google because I was like, I don't want to start like Googling and going down rabbit holes. And it's like, I think it's almost more interesting to have a conversation and just learn
about things. Yeah,
you're
definitely.
you're clearly passionate about it. So
I don't get out much.
No. I mean, like, just to go. I'm gonna start like a ginger beer brewery. Like, there has to be at least some level of passion there. That is,
definitely.
well, I almost think it's more interesting talking to someone that is passionate about it and really does enjoy it, and like learning that way, and like all that stuff. Had no idea about any of that. And that is really, really interesting.
It's kind of weird because like a lot of this we've had to really, really piece together. Like it's not easily accessible information either, so we've really had to like piece it together and find out about it like over time and things. Like there was a very, very specific yeast and bacteria that when you put them together created the traditional ginger beer, and we actually got a sample of it. It died out, and we got a sample of it from somewhere in Germany during lockdown, and it was incredible. And that's what gives ginger beer its unique flavour, and kind of gives it like those kind of like deeper, kind of like more kind of caramelly notes and things like that. So yeah, See, this is the level that I go to.
That's amazing.
Really interesting.
Yeah. Like, what's the process of creating a ginger beer? I assume it's different from brewing a regular beer because you're using the botanicals and things.
It's not hugely different. So obviously we are gluten-free, but we do still use gluten in there. We just use gluten-free grain, and also to kind of still give it that little bit of a mouthfeel. But we kind of treat our ginger in the same way that you also treat the malt as well. And then we use botanicals and citruses just to kind of give... Yeah, so it isn't like hugely dissimilar. Like we still, you know, we do the mash, we do the kettle and everything. So the process is actually the same as making a beer, so like right down to the carbonation. But we steep the ginger, and we press it to get that real fiery ginger flavour. Okay. And that's kind of it really. And then we add the botanicals, different stages depending on what kind of flavour we want to get from it. So like with the OGB, it is very, very kind of simple and straightforward, you know, with the molasses in there. It's not kind of like there to kind of like to be like a kind of like, oh my god, there's like, you know, 15 different levels of flavour in this. It is there to be like, this is a pure essence of a ginger beer. And it's really weird, like if you go off and drink like a ginger beer soft drink afterwards, you'll kind of say like, oh, actually it doesn't taste of ginger. That's really weird, because we did this and we were like, that's really weird, that doesn't taste of ginger any. What's going on here? So it's yeah, it works. We have fun, you know, what can I say?
I was gonna say, like, drinking this as well, like, I get that like I was gonna say,
that
there is
fiery.
like a fieriness to it that sort of like lingers on your tongue. That's the only way I can like describe it, and it is really nice. I mean, I like ginger.
Yeah.
As
that's a good
like,
starting point.
I like ginger on the whole.
You like it too as well, right, Joanne? Like if you don't like ginger,
I like ginger. Yeah, if I didn't like ginger, we'd be in trouble right now, I think.
That would have been like, I've just overruled her, and like we're doing it.
She's like, we're doing it. She does that to me sometimes. She's like, we're doing this. I know you don't like it, but it's too bad.
It's okay.
You will like it.
It is really, really, yeah. So like I get that fieriness to it, and it is really, really nice. Like I feel like it just sort of, you take a sip and it's like ginger, and then what sort of sits on your tongue is that fieriness, like towards the end, and it just kind of lingers there for a bit. But it's not like
it's not overpowering.
Yeah, it's not so much that you're like.
Yeah, it's just nice.
Oh, it's very well balanced. Very well, just the right level.
Yeah,
it's that kind of like balance, because you've got like the kind of like lemon in there as well, so it's just balancing that citrus, but then kind of like keeping it so it's sweet but not like too sweet, because again, you don't want to kind of like walk into that kind of like soft drink territory, so it's just trying to get that nice balance between it all. But thank you very much, I'm glad you like it, you know.
I keep trying to be like, save some for later for a photo, but I'm like, I'll just have a little bit more.
It's so
good.
It's really fragrant as well, and like not just on the nose, but like when you're tasting it, it's like all of those different things together. It's really lovely.
It kind of comes down to as well the type of ginger that we use. And again, I'm going to be really, really geeky and nerdy.
Please, love that.
Please.
Please feel free to mute me and have a private conversation. It's absolutely fine. I completely get it. So for the OGB, we tend to use the Peruvian ginger, which is a lot more fiery, and it's kind of it's got more heat, it's got more fire, and it's not got the floral notes which you do get from the elephant ginger, which is generally the stuff that you see in the supermarket. Okay. See, next time you go to Asda, you're going to be picking that ginger up, and you're going to be going, right, so which one do I want?
Which kind is it? Yeah.
I actually am. I'd probably be like, which
I hope you do. Also, as well, did you know that you can actually grow your own ginger?
Oh yeah, you can do it from the root, can't you?
From the root?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
So it's a rhizome. It's not even a root. It's actually a rhizome, which means it spreads.
Like hops.
Exactly like hops. See,
yeah.
Forming. So I'm really sorry, because if people are just listening to this, I talk a lot with my hands, so I do apologise.
I think that's, you know what, they're going to have to just watch it or miss out. And that's on them. That's their problem.
It's personal choice, but we're helping you to make it, okay? We're steering,
yeah.
But yeah, so the elephant ginger, which is this type that you normally get from like China and India, does tend to be more fragrant and floral. It's still got the fire, but it's more of a mellow burn. And again, it's like, so when you like cook with ginger, and you cook with fresh ginger, and then you get the dry heat, you know, the drier kind of like more almost like burny heat from like dried ginger. With Peruvian ginger, it's more that kind of like intense fieriness, which is what's really, really nice. So that's why that one works so well with the OGB, is because it's really kind of like setting that level of having that quite fiery, intense flavour to it, because it is like the ginger is the standalone in that one. Whereas like with the Aradia, which I believe is what we're drinking next, if memory serves me correctly.
That's a really good
we hold up the can? Everyone
hold up the can.
Oh, that's
going to be the cover photo. That's it. That's the cover photo.
For me, growing up, I never would have even considered that going into like a brewing career path would be something that I could ever do, or like going into the beer industry would be something that I could ever do. And I didn't know anyone that like worked in a brewery or anything like that was ever an option. Like there was nobody in my immediate circle, and I feel like it kind of shows a career path that can be taken that maybe, you know, would not be taught in school or be discussed in a school setting.
Yeah, it is kind of, it's not as though it's taboo, it's just that kind of thing of like, obviously, you know, like we take Mealy to the events. I've got 2 older daughters as well, and obviously, you know, teenagers are always intrigued by alcohol. So it does allow us to kind of like take that step of being like, you know, discussing it with them and having those kind of like, you know, conversations about like knowing what your limits are, understanding what you're doing, things like that. And kind of also as well, it's like you say, like brewing is, you know, it is a career. It's actually quite, you know, it's a career for a lot of people, you know, like yourself, you know, like it's a career for so many people. So it's like, it is nice to be able to show children, actually, this is what I do, you know, this is like what, you know, Dad and I do, and we, you know, we do something a bit different, you know, and it's fun and it's different. And Miele loves it because she's a very sociable little girl, so she likes that we go to the events. And when we do the events, there's other like traders who also bring their children, and they form like a little tribe, and they take over the local playground, like wherever we are, wherever we stay. They will find a playground and it will be theirs.
I love that.
Like they're like little. They are like little. Like I don't know. Like I don't know if they're pirates or Vikings or what. But they take over it, and they just not like in a mean nasty way. Like they don't chase off the local children or anything like that.
Like you guys leave it all around
hours now.
Nothing like that. She's only just turned 5. She's not quite there. But they just take it over, and it's nice because they meet people from all different walks of life, and it just normalizes this kind of thing of like, you know, adults can drink. They don't need to binge drink. They don't need to be puking drunk. They can have a few drinks. They can have a laugh, they can get a bit silly, they can have some fun, and then the next day they get up and they're, you know, still mum and dad, and they're still, you know, like we always see like Nidhogg and Mead at events, and it's like, oh, you know, they're still the same people, and the next day they get up and they go back and they carry on, you know, pulling pints and selling mead and things, you know, so it is really, really nice. It's nice, it's a lovely atmosphere, and it's nice to sit around. Like we did Sherwood Forest, we did a Viking festival there last year, and it was great. We got all of these Viking Viking reenactors drunk, doing mead bombs. So like a shot of mead inside a pint of like ginger beer of your choice. So Nidhogg would do some like different flavoured meads. And so you pick the mead and then you put it in like you know, like if you're having like a half of Aradia, you do like maybe like the citrus one or something, put half in that, and then you're down there, and we got all of these guys drunk, and then they were like all playing around, and they've got a fire going, and it sounds like it should be really, but it's not. It's really, really friendly. It's really, really safe. Everyone looks after each other, and you're just in this like really beautiful surrounding, and it's really, really lovely. And I think it's something that it's like, you can't kind of, money can't buy those kind of memories for your children, and that experience of being able to give them that, you know, like, and that freedom to know that they're surrounded by all of these people that are completely trustworthy and that you don't need to watch them all the time, you know. So it is really, really lovely.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine. I can only imagine in like Sherwood Forest like that. That has got to be like amazing. Like I only went to Valhalla, which is like relatively close to me, but that was like super family friendly as well. And it was like I really thought it was quite cool to see like all the families there with their kids all dressed up and like sitting at the story time when they're like telling the stories of the gods and like and then you get to see the reenactments and I mean I got my face painted and I had like I wanted to be like a Viking warrior, and so they did the face paint where they put like blood. I was like, can you do blood splatter all over me as well please? And they were like, yeah, sure. And then I went straight to the toilets. I was like, I need to have the blood splatter on me as well, and they were like, yeah, you got it. And so I went to go to the toilets, and one of like the EMTs, like the medical people, was like genuinely like, oh my god,
you okay?
Actually something happened. And I was like, nah. It's like it's just my Viking.
Yeah, just you know doing a bit of like pillaging. That's all.
Just pillaging.
It's just my Viking aesthetic.
Yeah.
She was like, I actually panicked for a minute. But it was such a lovely atmosphere, like getting to play like the old school like Viking games and like that was really fun. And I've had that mead as well, and we bought a bottle and like I don't remember which one we bought the bottle of. I think it might have been of like the Loki. But we drank it so quick, it was gone so quick. It was just so easy to drink. I think like the thing that was like the only thing that bothered me that day, and it didn't even bother me, was the wasps. It just became the meat. Like that was like the most aggressive thing of the day. Was I was like, oh my god. There was one point I got people giving me like, yeah, because I had a thing of mead in my tankard. And this like wasp would not go away from me, and I was like, I cannot right now. So I went to go stand with my friend who was smoking, and I thought the smoke might get rid of it. It's like nah, and I think I've just gotten to an age now, like being in my 30s and never having been stung by anything. I'm like, the anxiety hits me where I go, what if I'm allergic? And I don't know. And that is what sits in my head. So I will be like, ooh, stay calm, but walk swiftly away. So I was like, shit, it wants my mead, but I'm not about to dump my mead out. So I just literally
downed it.
It didn't go away. I put my glass down and I walked away, and they were like, woo! And I was like, that was not something I was doing to be cool. I promise you. It was anti-cool. And the whole reason I left is because someone had put a cup over a wasp on a table, and I was like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. I was like, that has to stay there now. I was like, that has to stay there now until I leave. That is not coming off till I leave. Thank you very much. But it's so family friendly, and it's like such a cool atmosphere, and I can only imagine like the events that you get to go to and the people you get to see over and over again. It's got to be a really, really cool experience, like for your kids as well.
Yeah, I can confirm that sort of experience does stay with you. So not quite the same, but similar. But my granddad and my uncle my uncle still is, are ice cream men. And so we would go...
Sorry.
I feel like it is one of the reasons why I'm so into like tasting beer now, because we used to taste all the different ice creams. Now I taste all the different beers. Right? Granddad would pick different... Would be like, I've got these new Ice Lollies ice creams. Are they going to be any good? And we'd have to try them and be like, that one yes, that one no.
Yeah. It's like, buy 10 boxes of that, but that one, forget it.
Yeah, don't buy that one. Yeah. And we used to go to do like the big like county shows and things, and so it would be them and some other people they knew as that were ice cream men that had fans, so that we could do the whole thing. And we'd all go along to wherever it was, and we'd stay camping for a few days to cover the whole thing. And again, like, I'd hang out and my brother would hang out with the kids from the other ice cream people or the other vendors, and you'd like sit around and like, you know, I might not see my parents and my nan and granddad for a bit because they were off running the thing, but we were all just playing around doing whatever because we were all together. And those are some like vivid memories I have from my childhood. So those things do stay with you when you get to do that sort of fun thing.
Yeah, it's the freedom, isn't it? And I think you just forget that, like, you know, like what kind of doesn't seem like a big deal to you as an adult. Like, I say this quite a lot. Sorry, I'm going to open up another drink. Is that okay? Because I'm
yeah. Wait, should we open up the next one?
Shall we go?
Yeah, let's start the next one while we're
Let's do the
talking.
next
That's a good plan.
Yeah. Like I always kind of say like with my kids, like what doesn't seem like a big deal to us as adults because we've already done it is a huge deal for them. So it's quite like, you know, like the little things really, really, really mattered to them. And I have lovely memories of camping with my parents when I was a kid and like going out and staying up like what I thought was super duper duper late, and it was like, you know, 8:30 because I was such a rebel. I was so cool, and you know, it's or like laying in bed with your torch and still reading your book, you know, because you could. All of those things are just great. It's just got to be done.
Yeah.
But so this bit is really super like just delicate and really lovely.
Yeah.
This is the Aradia. So Aradia was the pagan queen of the witches. Oh yeah, sorry.
Ooh.
Ready?
Oh, sorry, you don't know. I was just showcasing it while you were talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's lemongrass and lime leaf. And I kind of wanted this one. So when we first started to do it, like talking about the residents, there was this kind of thing of like doing like the kind of like north, south, east, west kind of thing, you know, like kind of, because Jez and I are a bit, you know, we're a bit weird, you know, we're kind of like hippie, pagan-y type people, you know, we put it all together and we make sense at some point. This was that kind of like more kind of like Eastern kind of like flavors with the lemongrass and the lime leaf. It was meant to be like fresh and delicate. It was like a summer's evening drink, you know, like sitting around a campfire having this after like a really, really like hot day. So it's refreshing. We find that this one is really, really popular, like at the beer festivals. Like, so when we did like the Nottingham one, and after people have had like a few like IPAs and stouts and things like that, and they've had that kind of like quite richness, it's quite nice to have something that's quite fresh and floral and citrusy. It's kind of like a bit of a palate cleanser almost, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. It's a lot lighter. Like you can see the difference as well. And this is, again, you still get the ginger, you still get a bit of a fire, but because it's got the elephant ginger, it's not as fiery. It doesn't linger quite so much.
I was going to say the first few sips for me, I think the ginger was almost like really subtle, like really towards the back end comparatively. And now it's like, okay, because it's sitting there and I'm continuing to sip it, so it's more noticeable. But I can completely understand how this would be like I've had a lot of the heavy stuff. I just want to have something that's like easy drinking, light, especially if it's like
light and
nice
fresh.
And warm out. Like I can picture this camping, sitting around a campfire after a long day, and you just want something that's not too heavy, too filling, that is just the right balance of things and just easy to drink. It feels like this would be, I could see this being like the perfect out of like a Viking festival, like
it's festival beer, you know. It is one of my kind of like go-tos, I think. Like when I'm out and about, it's definitely like if I'm behind the bar, it's like that's what I'll drink, or I'll have like a size or something, just because I do tend to kind of like go towards the lighter stuff. So I have last year we prototyped a couple of stouts. It's been very, very hush hush, you know, under the radar kind of thing, because
heard it here first.
Shh, don't tell anyone.
Secret.
We've got a very trustworthy circle.
Yeah. You're trustworthy. You can trust him.
I can sense that from you too. Yeah. So I wanted to do. So we did a dark stout, and I wanted to do, because obviously it was the first stout I ever did, and because we obviously do ginger beer, I wanted to do something that was like a kind of like gingerbready stout, but I also really love s'mores. Like, I really, really love s'mores.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a problem, I'm not going to lie.
That's not, I see no problem.
No, it's a problem.
Zero
like,
problem.
We're going to circle back to this in a minute.
We'll circle back to it.
Yeah, we need to circle back to
the camera doesn't show where the s'mores have had the most impact, but I'm like, the
lockdown was not kind to any of us.
The middle half is this like the sandwich, there's the marshmallow sticking out the biscuit. Is great.
I feel
It's an image there, isn't it?
In some way, don't even worry. Like we can all, I feel like we can all. We're all same.
Totally relate. Totally relate.
If I'm gonna relate to anything, I want to relate to something delicious.
Right, to a small. I love
appealing.
it. I love it.
100%.
If I'm going to be anything, I'm going to be damn delicious. That's what it is.
Yes.
Yes.
We are delicious.
Anyway, brief tangent. So I did a ginger snap s'more stout.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's a milk stout, but it's got that like kind of still got the fire with the ginger, but it's got the chocolate in there, and it's rich and it's quite dark and heady. I really, really enjoy it. And so we trialled that one, and then we also did. I did a white stout.
Ooh,
have you guys tried
love a white stout? Love a white stout. Yeah.
Yes, amazing. A lot of people are like, no, they shouldn't exist, and I'm like,
right, no.
Yeah. No, my issue
Women's
is the
Brew.
people that,
we love a white stout.
The people that say they shouldn't exist, what I often find is the people that go they shouldn't exist. You go, have you had one? Chances are they say no.
No.
They've never had one.
Or
they say yes. Or they won't have one on principle because it's weird, I don't understand it. Or they'll go, yes, I've had one. And you've gone, so what didn't you like about it? And they're like, well, nothing, it's just, I don't understand it. And it's not a stout. And I was like,
it is
a white stout.
It is.
It's like,
right.
I've had this argument. I have died on this hill so many times having this argument. When we co-curated, the both of us curated a bar for Arundel and Friends Brewfest. It was 2021 now. We were picking the beers we wanted on our bar. We got 3 beers. We went black IPA and white stout just because we wanted to really just mess with
upset people.
Yeah.
Partially because we really liked the beers.
Yeah.
And then the other part of it, I think I said to Joe, these are the ones we both sort of thought independently, and I was like, I'm thinking this, and this, and I was like, partially I think it would be really funny. And the other part of me just wants to like challenge people's perceptions of things. What do you think? And she's like, I was thinking similar.
Same. We're so on the same wavelength.
And it was mainly we just thought it was funny. We were like, it would be really funny just to see people's reactions when they get wound up because it's white stout.
And then our third one was an IPA made with African hops, and we were just like, we're not having anything normal on our bar. You want to come to our bar? Like, we're having all the interesting things because it's the All Women's Brew Bar. This is what we do. You're welcome.
And actually, we ended up tapping out of them. Like, people like,
we did.
They really liked the white
There was
stout
a guy
and
that came up.
Guy
that came up, and he was just like, oh, I've never had a white stout. Oh, I don't know. We were like, just try it. Just try some.
Yeah.
He then drank nothing but the white stout for the rest of the session. I just kept going back for it. He was like, this is all I'm drinking. Like, nearly cried when we told him it had run out.
That's a good day.
We were just like, it's gone. And he was like, no, but I need more white stout. We were like, sorry, dude, it's out.
You should have bought an empty milk carton and had it filled. That's
right.
Really wrong.
Right.
That's it. That is exactly. We were like, you can go to the brewery and try to get around the brewery.
That's one of the things that we get as well when we do like beer festivals, and like people are always like, I've never had a ginger beer before. Oh, I didn't realise. And like people are so surprised, but then so many people are like, I've just enjoyed it so much, like, you know, and it's really, really like, it's really humbling when people are like, I just really, really love that. Like, that's been my drink of the day. And like, you get people who, we had this sweetest couple of ladies at Nottingham, and they worked their way across the whole of the bar. So we had like 5 ginger beers. We do our own IPA that we do for events, but we are canning it because you have to do an IPA. It's mandatory, it's mandatory.
Yeah.
And then we had like the Sizer as well, and the Braggarts, and they worked their way right the way across the bar.
Amazing.
And they were just like, they loved the ginger beer so much, and then they kept coming back, and they were doing like the halves every time, and they just had such a great time. I was like, oh my god, I love you two so much. But it's really like humbling when people like are like, this has been the thing that I've drank today. Like, this has been my drink of the day. This is what I've really, really loved you guys. I've loved your stuff. And it's like, it's such a wonderful feeling. And it's nice, like you say, when when you set out and you do something different and you introduce people, you know, like you're saying, like doing the white stout, doing the black IPA, you're introducing people to something different, and people appreciate that. And that's like the greatest compliment that anybody can give you, isn't it? It's just to like recognize that you are trying something new, and actually you've got a great idea, so go with it, you know. Go do the next thing. Go on.
It didn't hurt the fact that we had brewed that white stout for International Women's Collaboration Brew Day, so that's like why we picked that white stout as well. And it was an espresso martini white stout, and we were like, yeah, love this. And it's gonna really mess with people because it's so pale coloured, but then you have these roasty coffee like chocolate notes to it,
and it's not typical flavours that you would kind of put with a white stout. You know what I mean? Like those dark kind of richer chocolatey, coffee kind of flavours. It's really nice.
Yeah, so that was just like it was even better when people were like, oh my god, I love this.
Did you not keep some put to one side
time machine? We need the time machine, and then we'll go back because I don't even think they canned it, did they?
I don't even think they did.
Antisocial. That's just antisocial behaviour. I know. Just why.
It was like proper limited run. If you know, you know.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
We managed to get one well in advance for that festival, like because we knew that was coming out, and we were like, we want one, please, thank you.
It's like coming to the festival. We brewed this, we want this, thank you very much.
Please put that aside for us, thank you very much.
Bless you guys.
There was a plan.
That's really awesome though.
How did your white stout turn out then? Like what were the flavours of your white stout?
So I did a peanut butter blondie white stout.
That sounds amazing.
It's really
all the best things. That's all the best things.
I know. It's very close to my heart. So it's currently carbonating in Nibbit, and yes, I do name all my tanks, and I've got a really, really cute tank, and he's so cute that he got called Nibbit. He's got his own little zippy up jacket on. He's so adorable. He looks like he wants to take me out for a fancy meal. He's got like a little black Nibbit. So he's very nibby. His name is Nibbit. We call him Bert for short. Jez has come to accept that me and Nibbit are very close.
It happens.
I spend more time with him than I do with Jez sometimes, you know, but Nibbit understands me. And he's got white stout in him, so he's definitely my kind of guy.
He's perfect.
He really is. I'll send you pictures of him. Like, Nibbit is...
Please.
He's a dream date. He is literally a dream date.
Are you going to be canning that? Because that sounds genuinely amazing.
We are going to have it in cans. It's only a very, very kind of like small batch. So we are going to have it on draft for Evesham when we go down and do the Evesham Medieval Market. That's like middle of May. I'm really bad with dates, so don't quote me on that. It's in this month.
We can put we'll put your event page in the show notes.
I was going to say, we'll definitely link to it or something.
More witchcraft, yeah.
Totally
magic.
The new age of witchcraftery is amazing. Like I don't mess with any IT witches or wizards because you are capable of things that I am not. So I bow down to you. I'm good with a paddle and botanicals. Just stirring vats and cackling to myself. You know?
I mean, I am pagan and my altar is dedicated to Aradir and Hearn, so Aradir is going to have to get a bit of this. I'm going to have to give some of this as an offering after this. So then the podcast will come out perfectly because we've given an offering of your ginger beer to the goddess.
And if not, what that means is that we just order more, especially when the
it means I just have to
order more. And then we do this all again.
It's all coming together. It's very, very rare that I've actually met somebody who's actually heard of Aradir as well, because most people call it
Queen of the Witches.
Yeah. She's like, I love the story. So my youngest daughter who briefly appeared, her name is Miele Aradir Romano. So Jez is actually half Italian, and she's obviously, as you know, she's Italian. So when we were like looking for middle names, and we kind of thought like when she grows up, right, and she decides to become the lead singer of a death metal band, because obviously that's what every parent wishes for their child.
Of course.
That can be it. She can be the queen of the witches, and she will be happy.
That's a solid
perfect.
Choice,
that's perfect. I love
it. Like, looking at it now in hindsight, because miele, how good's your Italian? Do you know what miele means?
Now, because you said that, I'm like, not
yeah.
Like, because you said that, I've gone.
She's the one that should know Italian.
Mind's blank.
I'm looking at both of you. Come on, this is a test. This is a test.
No. I guess I can do prego and grazie, and that's about it.
Grazie.
Grazie.
Miele means honey in Italian.
Ah.
Or miel in
perfect.
Spanish. Yeah, so honey is one of my favourite things, so it made sense to call her miele. Yeah.
Perfect.
I know.
That is, I didn't know that. Also, my mind just goes blank anyways, but I don't think that's something they taught us in school, because I feel like there was never, like, they were never like, you might know this word.
Yeah, you're not going to need to
like,
know that.
You can have pasta. You can have no ordering honey.
You're not ordering
honey. You don't need that.
No, you don't need that.
You don't need to know how to order that. And I'm like, what if I want that?
Damn it! I want my right to honey. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
You know. Next time you go visit family, you can ask for some miele and
there we go.
Demand your right to the honey. Yeah.
It's definitely going to help for sure, actually, because I'll see that word and I'll go, I know what that means.
I know what that means.
This is the question. Do we have time for one more drink, or do you have to go?
No, I'm good. I'm quite happy chatting away. I'm ready to crack open
crack
this
out the
bad boy.
cider?
Let's go cider. Let's
go cider.
Hold on, Joe's got to get hers. Joe's got to get hers.
Oh, come back, Joe.
Here it is.
I
got it. It's okay.
We're getting so good.
So we're on to the cider.
We should totally. You know what, Joe? You were right. We should totally meet up at a festival and do this. Just pose with cans.
Yes.
Just with cans.
Yeah. Just do cans.
But I want to circle back to the s'mores before we get into this, right?
She's like,
you realise that as soon as you get off of this, I'm making
right.
s'mores, don't you? Okay.
Yeah.
To be
right.
fair,
So this is my
our
question,
conversation, though,
right?
isn't it? Is we will have 3 conversations going, and we'll be like, okay, circle back around to point
but
1,
back
and
to
then
this
we'll go
one.
to 2.
What are your key ingredients for a s'more?
Oh,
Please tell me.
This is a key question.
Okay.
Yeah.
It depends on who's having it, because if it's depending on which of my children is having the s'more has to be complete. Yeah, it's completely different to the ginger beer. Hence, also s'mores are also completely different depending on the child. So for me, I like to. Okay, I said I like ginger. I like to make s'mores using ginger nuts.
Okay.
And then milk chocolate and a s'more. And a marshmallow.
And a marshmallow.
Okay? I sometimes like to do an open face s'more. Like, you get open face sandwiches, so I don't put the 2 biscuits on, because ginger nuts are quite hard and crispy.
Yeah, they're quite. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a lot of crunch to them, but that's why I quite like it though, because I like that contrast in the flavour, in the textures as well. I'm a very textural person. If I'm having them with the kids, okay, we do cheat a little bit. So we get the, you get the caramel digestives.
Oh, yeah.
Those that is what I was going to say, because that's a millionaire s'more, and they are my faves.
Sexy little beasts, aren't they?
Yes,
they are so good.
That is what I feel like. That is, you need to make a s'mores stout that is like that themed, and then you have to go a sexy little beast.
Oh my god, that's the next one.
That's a good. I feel like that's a good.
I'll dedicate it to you two as well.
Right, we give that to you for free.
Yeah,
we like to give our guests gifts. Here you go.
That's your gift.
Gifting that idea to you.
It's awkward. We didn't wrap it, but you're going to take it anyways as it is. Unfortunately,
I'm taking it. It's here. It's here.
Yes.
It's onto my heart. It's a beautiful gift. Thank you very much.
Oh, I feel so connected to you now, because often I speak to people about s'mores and I'm like, have you used the caramel digestives for it? And people are like, no. I'm like, seriously? Go get those caramel digestives and do it.
Why is it not just a logical thing for people? It's
right, I feel like it is.
It really is. It's like evolution. It's just the next step.
It's the next step in s'mores is just to get those caramel digestives. Yeah. Like, if you've ever seen a caramel digestive on a shelf and you make s'mores, why wouldn't you be like, yes, thank you?
Synergy.
What's always bothered me though is when you go like, oh, what do you put? So like, obviously my s'mores are different because my s'mores, it's like,
because you're American.
Me, so when I make them here, I will use like digestives. Yeah, this is why I'm American. Yeah. So I will use like when I'm here digestives and stuff like that. If I'm in the US, like, I do prefer just graham crackers.
A graham cracker,
like,
graham
or I will
cracker.
take graham crackers back sometimes with me on occasion.
Even is a graham cracker.
Everyone asks that. I don't really know how to answer it.
I mean, I suppose
makes fun of me for how I say it.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's spelled Graham.
Yeah, like the guy.
Graham cracker.
We've all got a Graham in our lives somewhere, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
But they get called out in America. They still get called Graham.
Like when you say it
when
like
it's
that.
spelled. So they call like the measurement, but it's spelled Graham.
Just to confuse
right? Don't.
So
I had a tutor.
Like
right. So I had a tutor at university whose name was Graham. We went on a university trip to the US and everyone just called him Graham the entire time. And I'm like, his name is Graham. And they're like, Graham. And we're like, it's not his name, but cool.
Not his name, but great.
I think the closest thing we have to them is digestives, but they are, because they're that texture, but they're harder, I would say.
But
they're more dense.
Okay. So they're kind of like...
the taste you get from it.
Similar taste,
Similar taste. It is just a harder...
It's harder, and they're square.
Whereas I would say a graham cracker is like thinner, and there's more snap to it.
So it's like a kind of like a cracker texture, but with a kind of like digestive,
but with a digestive taste.
Yeah. And they're like obviously like quite thin compared to...
Yeah, they're thinner than a digestive because digestive's quite chunky.
Put chocolate on it. But to be fair, I don't like Hershey's chocolate. I'd rather just put a...
That's what they use in America.
I've heard about American chocolate. Is it true? Like,
if that's all you've ever had, if that's all you've ever
had, I've just alienated a whole bunch of our listeners. We do have US listeners, soz, but your chocolate's crap. It just is.
You overruled the American as well. It's like, your chocolate's crap.
I did. Well, no, because I know she doesn't like it either.
I don't like it either. I think it is that thing of if that's all you've ever had and that's all you know, you go, oh, it's really, really good. Yeah. But once you've had proper chocolate somewhere else, even just like a Freddo, you're like, oh no, Hershey's crap. Hershey's is crap. Like, you're like, why do I have anything that's like, why do I have Hershey's?
It's a bit like me with Snowies.
I don't know. So like, I will have a peanut butter cup. That's it. No,
what's a Snowy?
You know the little white chocolate buttons with sprinkles on the top. Yeah, Snowies.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're like in the Jazzies, but in the white chocolate, they're Snowies.
They're Snowies.
You have that, and you kind of know it's shit.
Yeah, it's kind of shit.
It's so nostalgic. Like, do you secretly like you have this like little dirty secret that every so often you have Hershey's, but you don't tell anyone? Because I do the same thing with Snowies. It's okay, I'm your friend, and you can tell me.
This is a safe space.
This is a safe space. No judgment.
If I was going to have a Hershey's, it would be the cookies and cream one.
Oh yeah, the bit.
I have a cookies and cream.
So
that one's okay.
Well, it's not because it's not real chocolate. Like it's not.
No, it can't even be called chocolate.
It's not milk chocolate because it's like the white chocolate with
you can't even call
crumb in it.
Chocolate. A lot of the chocolate in the US, you can't call it chocolate because it's not. There's like the ratio of like the
cocoa solids.
It's really interesting. When we were in York, we went to the chocolate experience in York.
I've been, it's great.
Literally, they were like, so we took my parents were over visiting, and we took my mum there. And my husband was fucking loving it because they were like going on about there's this chocolate and this is how much you have to have for it to be considered chocolate as opposed to just like a chocolate product or something. And he was like, so can you tell me about American chocolates and like that? And they were like, no. And I was there just crying, and my mum's like, well, I didn't know any of this. This is amazing.
You said that a bit louder for any Americans in the audience.
Yeah. They were going, literally, you just go to Lidl and get their dark chocolate, and their dark chocolate is like so much better quality than what you even get in Hershey's. And my mum like went to Lidl and like stocked up on all these chocolates.
Bless her.
It was so funny.
I do love your mum.
Does she prefer then like the chocolate of like that you get from over here to the chocolate?
Yeah, so she doesn't really like. She likes dark chocolate. She definitely likes more dark chocolate, anyways, in general. And so like she wouldn't just have a Hershey's. So she tend to buy like something that she would, if she was going to have chocolate, probably buy something that's a little bit more expensive, not like a Nestle or a, I don't know, Hershey's.
Kind of like she wants that kind of like quality chocolatey experience. Yeah, we all do. We all do secretly, you know. We all secretly we're all Hotel Chocolat, but
yeah. The only thing about s'mores that bothers me is when somebody, I don't care how someone wants to make their s'mores, as long as they're making it in the proper way, which is like layer, marshmallow, layer. And sometimes people just call roasting a marshmallow a s'more.
No, that's just a marshmallow.
I'm like, that is just a roasted marshmallow.
That's toasted marshmallow.
Yeah. Are you okay with my open-faced s'more though?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because you've got biscuit and chocolate.
And I use a crunchy, chunky biscuit. Like ginger nuts are chunky little buggers. You know, chunky.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You've also called it an open-faced s'more. You weren't like, this is a s'more in its natural state. You were like, it's an open-faced.
You do realise that Jez is like a chef as well. He's like a head chef. Like I can't.
He?
Oh yeah.
There we go. This is something new we haven't spoken about.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he's a head chef. Like he.
Oh my god.
He never cooks at home.
I imagine you probably wouldn't want to though, would you?
I mean, it would be nice sometimes, like to not cook. You know, like he cooks every day. I cook every day. Where's the balance here? You know, like where's the balance? You know,
I just would. Oh, I love food.
I do too.
It's food. I love food. So just like the fact you like head chef, I was like, I didn't know this. This is amazing.
Yeah, he used to work.
So does he do that in addition to like the brewery stuff as well?
So at the moment, actually, how are you guys getting on with the cider? Sorry, I'm
it's lovely. I was going to say we haven't actually spoken about it, so we'll have to come back.
I'm sorry about that.
It's lovely.
We're talking about s'mores. It's way more important.
It's fine. Yeah.
No, this is really. I can understand why you really, really enjoy it and why it's like you love drinking it.
Yeah,
it's so easy drinking.
It has the best part of cider, but still with that like honey mead sort of taste to it as well.
It's that kind of like perfect balance of like being able to drink mead but not having it to be too much. The weird thing is that a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't like mead," but then they're like, "Oh, but I do like the cider." But I think what it is that a lot of people don't like mead when it's been made with like you get like a lot of honey now that is like syrups and things like that. So we do.
It's not too mouth coating. I think it can be a bit. I think it's all. I don't think people realise how much variety of mead there is. So speaking of like, we were just talking about peanut butter. Like for was it for my birthday or for Christmas, Joe?
For Christmas.
Peanut butter and jelly mead, and I haven't opened it yet, but I'm really excited to open that one. And I've had
so weird, yeah,
I'm really interested to try it. But
who did that one?
I've had
what was in it? I'm going to find them because I think they're up your way actually.
Do you know most meaderies are actually up north as well?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder, is there like a correlation to like, is that just where it's the best place
because we've got like York, which is like, you know, very, very big kind of like Viking area, so you do get like a lot of meaderies around there. But I'm just trying to think, I've not heard of a peanut butter jelly one.
It was Lost Versus. Yeah, Lost Versus Meadery.
Okay.
And they're in Salford.
Oh yeah, because you got it in Manchester, didn't you?
Yeah.
But it is that thing of that there's so much different variety of like flavours of mead that I think people might try one and go, nah, it's not for me, and think that all of them are like that. And it's like, so you've got more mouth coating, thicker syrupy ones, you can have some lighter ones, like,
and you get so much variety depending on the kind of honey that you use as well.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. It's like we so when Jez and I first started kind of like just brewing at home for ourselves, we were doing meads. And I love lavender. Lavender's one of my favourite flavours. Okay. I can see Joe like nodding like, yes. So we did a lavender mead and we used lavender honey, and it was just like, it was just like you were drinking summertime. And it's absolutely beautiful. Like we've aged it out. So sometimes so we don't sell meads when we do like events with the bar, but if we do tabletop, so we do quite a few Comic Cons,
Oh, cool.
which are just like the tabletop ones, and we sell meads there. So we
nice.
Yeah, we like to age our meads out for like at least 6 months, if not a year, to really, really like relax everything, which really allows that honey flavours and all the different tones from the honey to really, really come through. So then it becomes really important to understand what honey you've used and why you've used that honey and things, all of those like different aspects to it. So we do sell mead there, but it was the lavender mead that inspired the seasonal ginger beer that we do, called Peaches and Dream, which is
that sounds amazing.
Oh my god, it's so good. I'm so excited to this is one of the weird things, is that it's like I get really excited to brew. Like I never ever thought I would be an adult that had a job that made me really, really excited to do it. I know that sounds really stupid, but I do. And I get really excited. It's like, I'm gonna go and brew this today. I'm so excited. And then Jess is like, okay, you might need to grow up a little bit. It's like, oh, do I?
Why?
No. It's like, no. But we use like fresh peaches, and then we put like lavender in with the ginger, so we make this lovely like ginger base. But because we using the elephant ginger, so it's not too fiery. It's nice and floral. But then you get the lavender and you get the peach, and it's just heavenly. I'm so excited to brew it again. We're just waiting for the right season for the peaches to come in. But yeah, we're big on doing the seasonal things, and we also as well. Sorry, I'm going to go off on like a real tangent now. I'm actually going to talk about the brewing stuff.
No, go for it.
It's fine.
That's what we should be talking about.
Sorry.
We should be doing that, and not like who owns Reese's.
Are we go back? I mean, I kind of enjoyed this conversation. Sorry,
Carry on.
I got completely distracted. Sorry. So we do a summer one as well called Henwen, but because like we've had quite a like late start to spring and summer, so Henwen is rhubarb. Because we live in Yorkshire, we have the rhubarb triangle with the forced rhubarb. I don't know if you guys have heard about this.
I've heard of forced rhubarb.
I've heard of partially, but I don't know a lot about it. But it sounds like I know I've definitely heard it mentioned, but I don't know a lot.
So forced rhubarb, this is one of those things where it's like it's a bit of a chefy thing. So Jess is better off explaining it. So I do apologise if somebody is listening and they're like, she completely got that wrong. I do apologise.
No apologies. No apologies. No.
Own it.
Yeah.
I'm like I'm 3 cans in now.
This is a safe space, and this is what I say it with confidence. Go.
Okay. So forced rhubarb is where they kind of like grow the rhubarb in the dark, and they kind of like it grows, and it's got a more concentrated flavour. So like the Yorkshire rhubarb triangle is quite renowned in Yorkshire. And the forced rhubarb is renowned because it's got like a lot more sugars in there, so it's quite like it's got the sweet tartness to it, and it's more flavoursome. That's what I believe. I might be completely wrong now I've said that.
We believe you.
Thank
you. You said it with confidence.
Yeah.
I said it with confidence. I'm going to drink a little bit more to wash away the lack of confidence, the anxiety that I'm feeling now having said something. I told you guys I was a lightweight in the emails.
You did say you were like 3. What I will say is like this does not taste like 6%.
No, sure doesn't.
Wait till you try the braggot.
Like 4%.
I know. Wait till you try the braggot though. That one will really, really confuse you.
I think we're gonna have to do like
a braggot.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do like a whole. Yeah,
do a
separate.
We'll do a whole thing on braggot because
we'll have to do a whole braggot.
I don't know if we talked about braggot on the podcast. We did a little live together so the first day that we met.
Okay.
I had a braggot and we we went out into my garden and we shared it and we did a little Instagram live together with the braggot and we talked about what braggot was, but I don't think we've done an episode on it, so I think that needs to go on the list. And we've got yours, so we've already started. We can use that in it for sure.
When we did, when we've done a few beer festivals, people do like braggot as like a special thing just for the beer festival.
Yeah.
But we try and have it all year round. Again, this kind of, it's one of those things where it's like, it's a really, really lovely drink, and it's like, you do get kind of like stouts that can be that kind of percentage as well. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's not a terrible thing. But yeah.
No.
Yeah. But, sorry, I was going to say with the Henwen, because spring has been so late, I can't actually start it yet because we're waiting for the elderflower. So it's rhubarb and elderflower ginger beer.
Oh, nice.
No elderflower, so I can't go foraging for elderflower. So if you guys see any elderflower growing, if you want to pick some and send it to me,
send it up to your
I would be really, really grateful. Because I know you're a bit further south.
Keep an eye out.
Keep your eyes open, okay?
I'll have to do like a collect it all, and I'll be like, Rick, I guess we have to go visit your dad. Let's go. Drive up there.
Yeah.
Hand deliver it.
Literally, I need all the elderflower I can get. I really like sustainability and being able to like hand forage things and everything else. So the fact that, you know, I can just like go into a park, find elderflower, pick it myself and know exactly where it's come from is absolutely great.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, are there things that you very much so will it be like that you forage? What are there other elements of what you forage as well, or are there some things that you're just like, you know, like peaches for example? It's like, can you really go peach foraging?
Unfortunately not in this park. So when we did the sizer, we brewed all of our sizers. So this sizer was done using English apples that we actually did forage, we went scrumpying. We were picking apples. We got a call off of this guy, and he was like, my apple trees are all really, really full, so if you want to come down and pick my apples, you can have them for free.
That's amazing.
All I ask is for like a case of whatever you brew off of it. Like,
that's so cool.
It's like, yeah, on our way. So we just got a van, went down there and got as many apples as we could and made cider with it. But yeah, it's
that's great.
Well, if we can get something ourselves, if we can forage for something, if we can find the ingredients, then we will do it. I've prototyped a dandelion and burdock ginger beer.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I like the name DGGB. DB.
That is good.
Yeah.
It kept me giggling for hours. Like I said, I don't get out much. But yeah, so I prototyped that, and again, it was just like digging up dandelion and using the roots that I found, like, you know, like in the local park and things like that. So if I can forage for something, or get it naturally, then I will do. Like when we did the peaches, I've actually, if anybody wants a peach sapling, I have many, because I got all the peach stones and I just kind of threw them into pots, and I have a lot of peach trees growing in my back garden.
That's really cool though.
It's kind of like
peaches, so I'm like, ooh, that for me.
Yeah,
I love peaches. So as a kid, that was like my favourite fruit. I would eat them out the can. I would just literally, they'd be like, my grandparents would be like, what do you want for a snack? It'd be like peaches.
Yeah.
And it would just be like, open up a tin of peaches, and I would eat just tins of peaches. Like, love peaches so much. So for me,
do you want a peach tree?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like I would, as much as I'd be like, yeah, I'd love a peach tree, I feel like I would struggle to keep it alive, because I feel like I cannot keep anything alive.
I watched a YouTube video about it, and apparently they're quite easy to make them like dwarf peach trees, even if they weren't a dwarf peach originally. So I did watch a YouTube video about it. He was a professor, and he knew what he was talking about, and I believed him. So
he said it with confidence.
To you, and you're like, he
did, and I
could definitely do it.
I was sold. After watching his video, I didn't watch any other videos. I was just like, you are the gospel. I take your word. I'm going to take that.
I don't need to fact check this. He said it confidently, so you know this man is right.
He's like, you showed me a peach stone, and then you showed me like a tree, and that's it. Like,
I'm in.
Yeah, like pretty much. Yeah. That was it. Like I said, you know, it's I like to take the easy road, you know. Nothing stresses me until it stresses me, so it's like, okay,
nothing stresses. I love that. Nothing stresses me but everything. That was my favorite. It's like, nothing stresses me except everything. I don't get anxiety except over everything all the time.
I'm already anxious about the result of this before it's even happened. It's great.
I am excited because I feel like I'm excited for that, like the just stout situation in general. Like that to me is exciting in general, and then like potentially a peach. Like yes, that is all of it. And for me, I love having these as well when I go, because I go and play D&D, and I've definitely posted about it and had conversations with you guys about D&D, because I love just like, I feel like it just feels thematic when I have it. Like I'd like to pick beers that are like thematic to my experience, so I try to get things that feel more thematic when I go. I mean, I don't always. Sometimes I'm like, this is just what's in the fridge and this is what I'm gonna have, and I go with it. But normally I try to plan it, or even if it's just something that's like a saison or something that ends up being like just more interesting and like I don't know, wild, because I'm like, oh, that feels more thematic, that like, because it feels like somebody realistically in this universe could have just wild brewed this beer and all that. And so like I think I actually gave some of one of the ones that I got. So my local bottle shop, I think, has some of your cans as well. So the first place that I got your ginger beers where I got Valhalla from Werewolf. When we were in there, and I was like, want to try that, and so I took
what's that all about?
And I got one. I was like, that looks cool, and I knew that my friend who's the dungeon master for our D&D group, I was like, he will love this because he loves Viking stuff, and so I was like, he will love this so much. I'll get one for him, and then I was like, but I'm also going to get one for me because I will get envy, so I'll take one for me as well.
and envy is a terrible. I read a thing that envy is a sin. And I'd hate for you to fall down that pathway. So.
She gets FOMO so easy as well.
I didn't want to, so I just made sure that I didn't get that, and I got myself one as well. It's one for him, one for me. And then like he really, really liked it. And then I think I bought another one from the local bottle shop. I don't remember which one it was at the time. Brought it to D&D night and was like, do you want to try some of this? Oh, it was the ales from the crypt one. The ales from the crypt one.
Yeah.
It was so good. And I was like, do you want a sip of it? And he was like, I'll try that.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, that's it. That's interesting. I don't think he knew what to expect. And I loved it. And I was like, this feels so amazing. I brought my tank card. I brought my tank card and everything. I was like, I'm going to drink it out of a tank card. It's going to be so good.
I'm going to be hardcore. I'm going for it. We did ales in collaboration with Dean of the Dead Hot Sauces. So we wanted already to produce the hottest ginger beer known to humankind. And we'd been like prototyping it. And then Dean kind of came along and he was like, so I want to launch some beers to go like to sell my hot sauces, ales from the crypt. And we were like, yes, you do. We just so happened to have done this. And that's kind of like how it came about. Like, I have to admit, right, so I can handle ginger fire. I cannot handle chili heat. I am an absolute wuss with chilies. Okay,
same.
Thank you.
I
feel like, you know, after the
she loves it.
Are you
I'm the spicy little jalapeno. Like, I'm the one that's like, give me the like, I love the hot sauces.
And I'm like, no,
so
thank you.
When there's a beer and hot sauce collab, I'm like, I'll have it.
And you know, like I said before, how like people use like jalapeno to make ginger beers fiery. And it's like there's a completely different kind of like heat.
It's not the same.
So it's like I can handle ginger fire, but you give me chili fire, and I just die.
Yeah.
It's a different.
Yeah, it's completely
different. It's different. Yeah.
So it's so like So we did when we used the Naga chili. Oh no, it's not. It's Carolina Reaper now, isn't it? I'm still on Naga.
It was the Reaper.
Carolina Reaper. Yeah.
Carolina Reaper.
So Jez is a huge fan of chilies, and he does chili eating competitions and things like that.
Wow.
I love him, but I definitely don't do chili eating competition.
Hardcore.
He's weird. He's very, very weird. It's kind of why I like him. But yeah, so he's what brought us together. So this was naturally like the pineapple in there. So pineapple has bromine, which causes a desensitization. I can't say that. desensitization on the tongue after like drinking, like having like too much of it. So if you eat like a lot of pineapple,
it starts.
Yeah. So putting pineapple in there was kind of like a no-brainer. So the pineapple is actually there to actually intensify the experience, believe it or not. So people are like, oh, pineapple, and then they get the heat, and then they have a lot of it, and then the pineapple actually intensifies the effect of it. So yeah. But we do the pineapple ginger beer and the rum DMC as well, which is a dark and stormy.
I love pineapple. I love pineapple as well. I said I love pineapple as well. So it's like you're killing me. You're giving me all these amazing sounding things, and I'm like, oh.
So
yeah.
if you want to like a little road trip, come up to Leeds next weekend. So we've got the rum DMC, and we're doing it on keg. We've got one keg of it. So we do it in collaboration with the Watermark, which is a cocktail bar near us, and it's a pineapple ginger beer, and then they do a jerk infused rum, and we combine the two together.
Amazing.
And it's basically like a dark and stormy, but like souped up. Yeah. So for the
We've done cocktail episodes, and we needed this. Yeah. We needed this combination for one of our cocktail episodes. This sounds so good.
It was like the kind of like natural progression, because like obviously like ginger beer and cocktails kind of go together. So it was like a kind of like natural thing that we would start. Like I've just prototyped obviously a mango ginger beer with white rum.
Ooh.
Oh,
nice.
amazing.
Yeah. So kind of very fresh, kind of like, you know, got a little bit of lime in there as well, just to kind of like keep it like really, really kind of like summer chilling vibes. Yeah, so it was like, so with the mango and the rum one, we do need to like, kind of like, we send it out and everybody tries it. And then they kind of go like, yes, that's really good. Like, let's do that. Let's put that out for people to try. But yeah, that's the next one that we're trialing out. But the rum DMC, we are going to have available for the next couple of events that we do. So we will be putting that. We'll be putting that out there.
This is like, honestly, this has been really, really lovely.
Thank you.
I want to talk to you
really
again.
This
is so good.
I'm sorry.
We need to order more beer and do this again.
Yeah, open invitation. You're going to have to come back at some point.
We'll have to do, once we get the stouts out, we'll have to do like, I'd love your feedback on the stouts and see what you guys think to them, because it is like a new thing.
That'd be
for me.
amazing.
So we'll
I'm like 100% need to come back and do the stouts, because
we're in.
Wow, that was quick.
But I feel like it's like the conversation's been really, really good. I had a really fun, this really fun
been
conversation.
great.
I feel like we get on really well, and I'm like, I just want you to come back for the chat. Like
Come back for the dance.
I'm like, the ginger beer's really good, but I'm just enjoying the conversation as well. Like you've indulged us in our sidetracks.
So do we.
It's like literally, it's like, you know, squirreled constantly. I'm always on a tangent, and I am. It's really weird because people are like, oh, you're a head brewer, so everyone thinks I've got a really high alcohol tolerance, and I don't. You leave me doing a canning line, I'm drunk at the end of it because I have to keep testing it as I'm going through, and it's like, you're gonna be all right. It's like, yeah, I'll be fine. I've just got, it's still good. Okay, let's keep going. And it's like, oh. I'm quite proud of the fact I'm a lightweight. You know, I wear that badge with pride.
I like the fact it's like it's my burden to bear. I have to just make sure the quality is okay on all of these.
Terrible.
If you're standing by the end, that's the victory. So
sometimes I remember I was canning up a load of Sizer. And I had to keep trying it because you have to make sure the carbonation is good all the way down.
Yeah.
Terrible job to have to do. And like by the end of it, I jumped on the bus to go home, and I was picking Miele up from school, and I was sat there, I had my headphones in, and I was singing on the bus, and it was like 2:00 in the afternoon. I was like,
brilliant.
That sounds like the best bus ever.
I think everybody really enjoyed it. You know, whether or not they had my musical taste, I don't know, but I feel like I really lent something to the occasion.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I feel like you've indulged us in what we normally do, which is we normally tangent anyways. So I just feel worse that we didn't get to say even more about you. Your brewery, like that's the thing I feel bad about, because I'm like, oh no, we normally tangent, and I was like, we have to be so good, we have a guest, we have to do all the right thing.
Yeah, behave ourselves and make sure
and
we
then
talk
we're
about
like,
you.
what's the best way to make a s'more? Go.
If
That was an important conversation.
Anybody out there has a better way of making a s'more, I'd like to hear it, because
Let us know.
caramel s'more is the way forward.
And if you've got a better
that's the
name
way.
other than Sexy Little Beast for the next s'more stout, I want to hear it.
Let us know. Let us know.
Let us know.
Once
Is there anything?
We'll do something like purely for the listeners of this podcast, that they can have
Yeah.
it first before anybody else, and they can have the sexy
There
little
we go.
beast in their home.
Sexy Little Beast.
There we go. Amazing.
I'm one of those people that every time we get an order through, I'm just super duper like grateful that somebody really likes what we're doing. So it's like, you know, if you feel like you want to try a ginger beer, give it a try. You know, if you like ginger, try some ginger beer.
This is for you.
Yeah,
This is for you.
you never
You
know.
do nice little like packs as well, where it's like a
Yeah.
little bit of everything in there
Yeah.
as well. So it's like you can get a little sampler of like, try all the things.
Try all the things.
Because we'll just put all the links to the socials that you've got anyways, into your events
Yeah.
calendar and everything.
And your events
People need
calendar
to
and the
come
shop.
visit you
Thank you.
and the shop.
Oh,
People
thank you
need to
very
come
much.
visit you.
Yeah.
Try the ginger beer.
Yeah.
Definitely try the cider. That's really good, and I'm sure
Yeah.
the braggot is also probably amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for
We're
that.
excited
one
for that.
as well. So,
Yeah.
but I'm excited to go finish the rest of these.
I'm going to drink a glass of water and then I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah, that's a
Very
wise
rock
plan.
and roll. We're
Wise
going to
plan.
finish the rest of these.
Yeah,
and
we're
there
going to
we
finish the
go.
rest of these.
Thank you
Thank
again
you
for
so
joining me.
much.
Thank you very
Listen to
much.
music.
It's been really lovely. Thank you.
I don't know how long this episode's going to end up having been.
This is going to be a long. This is a long one.
Time. We're going to
Yeah.
have to cut some of it. We're going to have to cut some of it.
I'm going to
out
have to cut
because
some of it.
It's going to be really
If you've
fun.
made it this far, well done. We're very proud of you, because this
We're
was a
gonna have
good
to cut
conversation.
some of it out, which I don't want. It's going to be probably really hard to cut out, because you're
Yeah,
like, oh, the
it's gonna be-
tangents were really good tangents.
This is going to be a great editing experience for
We're
me. I'm
going to have
excited.
to keep some of it as like a bonus.
Yeah,
at
bonus.
Some point in time, it's going to be like the things you didn't hear, uncut episodes. But we did go
Maybe.
uncut all the time. But
Maybe we'll put that on coffee, and you can go over to coffee, donate us a little something, and then you'll get 30 days access to all of our bonus content. That sounds like a
built
bonus thing to do. It
it
sure
does
is.
sound like a bonus thing to do.
Go over and listen to the bits that I cut out of this because it's far too long.
Oh, but they're all
But
so good. So it's going to
Great!
be a tough
It was
decision.
so good.
It's going to be a tough decision on what to cut, but I'm never going to know because I won't listen to it back.
You won't listen to it, so you won't know.
I won't listen to I won't listen to myself to know
The
what you cut out.
weight of this decision is going to fall on my shoulders.
It's going to weigh heavily on your shoulders.
It sure is, but it'll be
Honestly,
it's going to be great.
It was such a fun conversation. I really,
Yeah.
really like her. Like
Yeah.
she
love
fits
Elle.
in so like well with our flow and
Yeah.
our cadence.
Yeah.
That it was like I just kept being like, we have to talk about DMC. We have a guest. We have to talk about the brew. Go back and
No.
then it was like, let's.
We're
going to
talk about the
okay.
essential ingredients for the perfect schmore.
I was
That's
like,
what's happening.
Wow. No, all right. Okay, I'll go down this path.
And we are aligned. We are perfectly aligned. Ginger beer and schmores. Let's do
It didn't take much to tangent. I was like, I'm down for this conversation.
Yeah,
but
it's good.
it was really fun. I could have probably sat here if I didn't have to wake up in the morning and go to a wedding. I could have sat here and probably drank all the beers and set the world to right as we normally do.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like really align with things that that they care about,
Yeah.
you know, on their end as well.
Go
Whether
buy
or
their
not- I don't
beer.
think that, I'm not sure, but basically, yeah,
Go buy their
ginger
beer.
Like, if you've ever been like, I wanted to try a ginger beer, go and try it, or even like
These
the
are-
mead offerings. Like,
Yeah. Like, these are, like, literally, like, the fragrances from these, the three that we've opened are just
the
fantastic.
Sizer
So,
Session cider mead is
Yeah.
like we were like gonna save it for a different
Yeah.
episode as well, but then
No,
when
we
she wanted
drank
to
it.
open it, we were like, we're doing it. Okay.
Sure.
We're
All right,
going.
Tori, if people want to talk to you about ginger heat versus spicy jalapeno heat,
Oh
where can they
yeah,
get
I'm
hold
a
of you?
spicy little jalapeno. Come talk to
She is.
me about the heat, because I like all kinds of heat, whether that's spiced heat from ginger or if that's actual ghost chilies. Like, I'm good for all of that. You can come talk to me on Instagram at adventures_in_optimism at gmail, at adventuresinoptimism@gmail.com, or you can probably just reach out to both of us at A Woman's Brew on Instagram, and I usually pick that up first only because I usually have better signal than Joe.
Yeah, because I've got rubbish signal wherever I am.
It's a lucky dip. You might get either of us. Same thing with our email, which is awomansbrewpodcast@gmail.com. Joe, if people want to talk to you about, like, they want to see you brew a ginger beer, where can they come talk to you and try to convince you that that's what you should do for your next home brewing excursion?
I mean, I need to do some more home brewing, but there's just not enough hours in the day. But maybe this would make me pick up the paddle and have another go.
There's so many questions I didn't get to ask, which is like, how do you decide the flavour combos? I want to know how you get your flaves, and how do you do your test batches? I didn't get to ask any of those things. She needs to come back so I can ask
Second
those
episode.
things.
We're going to have a second episode with the stouts. So if you want to talk to me about that, or maybe you just want to talk to me about homebrewing, you can talk to me about that too. I am at my beer school, which is Love Beer Learning, and we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok and Pinterest. I'm probably mostly on Instagram. Pop over, have a look, see what I'm doing. I've also got my website, which is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, and in the blog there is some information about homebrewing if you're interested in starting. Or you can email me, lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. All right, you got a wedding tomorrow.
I do.
I get lay-in tomorrow.
As well,
Let's go finish them.
Yum.
So on that note,
Cheers.
cheers.